Welcome to a backpacking trip at Great Sand Dunes National Park. We just left the parking area about half an hour ago and we're walking up the creek bed. This is seasonal, it's not running all year round. And we have backcountry permits for the dunes, which means we can go anywhere beyond the first dune, beyond the day use section. So our current goal is we're gonna walk along the river and try to skirt around beyond the dune here, like skirt out and to the left. But we'll see. We kind of don't have a firm plan. Just take it as it goes. So I think as the afternoon progresses, the water's melting up stream and heading down here. So we just noticed that the water is sort of visibly coming in faster than when we first started. And here's like one small piece. You can see this wasn't here even a minute ago. We're gonna have to decide up here if we go up into the sand straight away or we try to continue along the creek. But it seems like the creek gets wider up here. There's not as much area to walk. Well, we came from up there and we decided that for now, it really probably makes more sense to make our way down to the creek and then to walk, if necessary, in the creek. It's really shallow and the creek bed is hard so you don't sink in, because we're trying to traverse around to that side of the dunes. We came down off some of the higher dunes and we're going to go ahead and walk along this creek for a while and try to make some better progress. Getting a very nice view of the dunes from here. I think we're gonna continue this way. And I'm hoping to camp not actually in the dunes, but adjacent to them, a little bit out of the wind. Okay, night one. Here we are. We've got our campsite here. And we are above the dunes in the backcountry. And this site, I'm pretty stoked about the view from here. I mean, you have the dunes there, you have the mountains here. All right, well, just had some dinner, had a little scotch, and soaking up what remains of the sun. It's a little windy, but what a view. Wow, what a view from here. We're looking at the afterglow of the sunset. It's quite nice. And if we go over this way, that's where the sun went down. Let's just look at the dunes one more time. It's beautiful, incredible. Even up there, it's all lit up right now. Good morning, everyone. It's day 2. The sun has come up over the mountain and I stayed in my tent until the sun came up, and it was a little bit cold overnight, but the sun definitely warmed me up straight away, and it's looking to be a warm day. Tents are up there, and really, what a super view we've got of the dunes and the mountains. I was a little worried that it was going to be really windy all night, but thankfully the wind died down like pretty much straight away when we hit the tents. All right, we just left camp on the morning of day 2, and it's so nice. It's kind of cool and crisp. I know it'll heat up, but there's no wind right now, and it's really pleasant. We're walking what's called the Sand Trap Trail, and I think you can see why they call it that. It is slow going. The current plan is to take this trail until it ends at Cold Creek, and then go beyond that to the Sand Creek camp site. Just want to check them out. Gives us something to do, and then we'll come back later and decide, are we going to camp in the same spot tonight, or are we going to pack up and move a little bit closer back to the car. But we'll see. So walking through this Sand Trap Trail in this like low growth area, I spotted this elk antler in the brush. Pretty cool. I'll be leaving it here. We're on the trail. We're trying to go to Cold Creek, and what happens is sometimes the trail is just covered with sand, and there is no trail. You just need to kind of go in the right direction until you pick it up again. I think we can see our destination now, or at least the objective for this hike. We've got Cold Creek and Sand Creek. We want to get to Sand Creek, check out the campsite there. I think where we see the trees right there, I think that will be Cold Creek, the conifers, and then what are probably cottonwoods would be Sand Creek. I don't really know. I'm guessing a little bit, so we'll figure it out soon enough. All right, you can see we're down now below the higher dunes, so we've dropped a lot of elevation. We're walking along the Cold Creek. It's kind of almost dried up right here, but just like less than a mile upstream, it was flowing quite nicely. Filled up with water there because I was out of water, but I knew I could count on that Cold Creek. We came down from up there. We were up high above the dunes, and will be when we go back. But now we're gonna try to just finish off this day hike, make it to Sand Creek, have some lunch, and then head back. All right, we made it to our destination, which is the Sand Creek campsite. And I gotta say, the last quarter mile, maybe half mile, it was really not well marked. It was confusing. Not that this trail is well marked at all, but usually you can find it. But this is absolutely the campsite. It's got a fire pit, which is real nice, and a bear box, and you're right by the Sand Creek, which is flowing real good, actually. Let's walk down by the Sand Creek. Some tent sites. We won't be staying here. I think we're just gonna maybe fill up on some more water, eat some lunch. But this is kind of the terminus of that sand trap trail. There we go. Oh yeah, the water's looking good. We're returning to the campsite with a slightly different route. Trying to take a high route. Down there in that low area is where Cold Creek is. And you end up going down just to go back up. Alright, we've got a nice little sunset light lighting up the dunes and lighting up the mountains and the foothills. And the wind finally died down for a little while. Let's get one more look at those dunes. Good morning, everyone. Got some coffee. Those are our tents down there. And then you can see we're up on a little hill here, looking out over the dunes and the mountains. Pretty soon we'll pack up and make the trek back to the car. Overall, I think this was a very good trip. Right, Slava?
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Good times. If you like sand, this is the place to go.